Now, for Sarawak, I think we have been making our statements consistently that there is no hudud for Sarawak. Moreover, this is a state authority, state jurisdiction, and we can make our decision. Now, relating to what had been tabled in Parliament, personally, I feel that it will not see the light of the day. Though it had been tabled, there are so many objections to it, so many resistance to it, especially through the component parties. So for me, I am representing Sarawak, and therefore I have to stay consistent with the opinions and with also the stand of the Sarawak leaders and also the Sarawak government. Mainly because, as I said, religion is a state authority, is a state jurisdiction. And secondly, considering Sarawak being a multi-ethnic society, multi-ethnic religious society here, multi-religious society, therefore we have to respect the other religions as well. It is not about sacrificing our religion, because even though they say hudud is only meant for Islam, we already have our Sharia law. I do not see much need for us to have something else, because the Sharia law is already taking into consideration what are the needs that had been mentioned by the other party that had tabled the Sharia law amendment in Parliament. So to me, having looked into the overall aspect of the law, the Sharia law in Sarawak, in the whole of the country for that matter, so far I don't see much of the implementation of it, especially on the what do you call it, the whipping. I don't see much need for that, but anyway, it is their right for wanting it to be increased. As I said, for Sarawak, we wouldn't want to see this to confuse our people further. I think we have sufficient laws in the state, and we just carry on with that. I think that's my stand. One thing I know, being in Parliament, one thing I know is that the Parliament wants to carry on with its the way they reform the Parliament. The parliamentary process recently is more about reformation. So they do not want us to encroach into their jurisdiction. They want to be independent. So we have to respect that respect the speaker's decision for that. Other than that, I do not have any knowledge whether there is any instruction from the leader, because if there's any, it was not spoken to any of us. So that's up to whoever had been spoken to by the president would know better. But as far as I'm concerned, I was not there during the tabling because I knew what I wanted for the state. So I don't have to be present to listen to it, because it is no relevance to me anymore. It's no relevance to the state anymore. So what's the point of being there? So that was my stand during that time, and that will be a forever kind of stand, because I have to consistently stay with the state government's decision that we are not going to support that sort of proposal. Whether they call it hudud or not, we are not concerned about that, because as far as we're concerned, whatever we have now, I'd like to reiterate that we already have sufficient Sharia law. So there's no need to have a new one or to increase whatever we have, which we don't even really implement it. And we have to look back into the Constitution as well. If we study the Constitution, if we study what's being put up, there is likelihood of inconsistency later. You see, at the moment, it's not being implemented yet. But if it is really being passed and it is really being implemented later, there is going to be a breach of the Constitution, especially on the human rights. So I think that's it, right?